So how to reprogram your subconscious mind over a period of time, but to get definite results. That's what you're going to learn in this video. And welcome back to another video. I'm Max. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post. But other than that, let's find out how you can, over a period of time, reprogram your subconscious mind at home for completely free. So whenever I do a subconscious reprogramming video, I always explain the brainwave. So I'm not going to go into it in this video because I'll run you a quick brief through it because it's easier just to show you. But if you want to understand any more depth and knowledge of it, go and check out this video. But the goal is to get you from beta to alpha down to theta. That's where we want to get you. Now, the brainwaves are incredibly powerful in order to change they're different states of consciousness, which allow us to either receive knowledge to go through our waking day or to even be asleep in delta. And once you really understand the brainwaves, the next part is to really have hope and faith. And hope and faith, the way I explain it, is it's like you're being chucked in an ocean. There's no one around you. You're just drowning. You're literally just drowning. You can't see what's going on. Land's miles away. You can't see it. Someone throws you a rubber ring, and then you just begin to find your footing again. You get some breathing space. Then you can have that hope and faith that you're not going to drown, but you are able to now go and take action to move where you want to go to. If you just sit in that rubber ring and you just float away, then you're just going to go wherever the ocean takes you. That could be a land. I don't know. It's possible. But what I'm saying is be intentional and find direction where you want to go. Now, as I said, you need that hope and faith that land is going to be possible for you to get to. And the only way we get this hope and we get this faith is through understanding some form of information, some knowledge that can help you reach this understanding level to say, well, yeah, it's possible if I just follow the process, just trust the process. And understanding that great things that happen in life don't necessarily come like that, because we need to go through certain things in order to learn lessons, to not live from ego, to live from a state of love more often than not. And a great example is myself. If my business that I'm running right now, if I would have even started making as much money as I'm making right now, which isn't loads of money, it's a nice bit of money, then I would have screwed my life up. I would have had more money to buy drugs because that's all I spent my money on before. So it made sense for me to go through all the stuff I went through, and we only see that from this perspective now looking back. But imagine you had that wisdom to know that today, that even though you're going through some stuff, you can still make those changes. You can still get to where you want to, but we have to go through some things. And if you take the wisdom faster, then you've broken the loop and you can get there faster, essentially. So the goal is really take the wisdom, take the learnings from everything that's going on in your life. The faster you do that, the easier and faster you're going to get to your outcome. Make sure you stay to the end of this video as well, and make sure you like this video and subscribe and drop a comment if you have any comments you want to ask, any questions that you want to ask me, or you just want to drop some knowledge and wisdom, because I'm always happy to learn from you guys. But then it's really coming to the understanding that we have to be conscious. How do we hit a golf ball? How do we hit a tennis ball? How do we kick a football? We have to be aware of where it is. Our hand-eye coordination needs to improve. Now, when you first start to learn how to be conscious of your thoughts, your thought-eye coordination isn't going to be on point necessarily if you've never done it. It literally is like practicing a golf swing for your first time. Once you've got it, you sort of never lose it. You just have to readjust and just relearn it again. It's kind of like the muscle memory. And I used to play golf when I was younger. I haven't played golf for years, like probably a good 5 or 10, between 5 to 8 years, I would say at least. And when I used to play, I used to be relatively quite good as a kid. But now it would take me a bit of getting used to in order to get the sort of get back into the swing of things, if you pardon the pun. Because essentially what you're doing is you're getting back into the old way of doing something, and you have to remember, you have to relearn again. Maybe I'm going to be a lot taller, I'm going to be a bit bigger, so it's going to be a little bit different to how it was before. But that's really the key, is being conscious and being aware of what is going on. And what is going on? How are you thinking? How are you feeling about yourself? What things are triggering you on a day-to-day basis? Because when you understand what triggers you, then you can take that step back and say, so if that triggers me, can I change that? Okay, I can't change that. Can I remove myself from that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, cool. So that other thing that triggers me, can I change that? I can actually change that. And then it's being wary, and this is where you sort of become your own coach, your own sort of therapist, where you begin to see what's going on and you start to make those shifts in your life. Because when you're conscious of your thoughts, behaviours and emotions on a daily basis, you begin to or catch yourself, catch your old programs, so that you say, I don't want that program anymore, delete. The act of being conscious actually says you're observing something which says, okay, now I need to change. And then you say, how do I change? Then you get the information and then you begin to change. And then where you can go into what I will explain in a moment is what is called mental rehearsal in order to make the changes in here so that your brain believes it to be done. Because at the end of the day, the question is, are you living from the state of your past? Are you living by the emotions, behaviors, thoughts, actions of your past, of who you used to be? Or are you living by the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions and actions of who you choose to be, which is that of your future self? How would your future self react? Let's say you want to create more abundance in your life, or you want to create a business of your dreams, or you want to be with the love of your life, or you want to be in incredible shape. How would that version of you act on a daily basis? Would that version of you see a donut and be like, oh, do I want it? I don't know. Or would that version of you be like, I just don't eat 10 donuts at once. I just don't. I'm just healthy. And then it's moving slowly into that version of being. And like I said, with mental rehearsal, the goal is to really and truly get yourself to practice it up here. Now, the way we practice it up here is when we get ourselves into a present state, which is going into meditation. This is why I use hypnosis, because when you go into hypnosis and you do something up here, you actually create new neurological connections in your brain to say it's already been done. Now, the more you do this, the more you strengthen it. And it's exactly the opposite of when people feel anxious and something goes on that causes the anxiety, for that strength of anxiety to improve, to get stronger and stronger and to be more intense, and then all of a sudden you start having panic attacks about this certain thing. You can do the exact same, but for confidence, but for power, but for gratitude. So my question to you is, what would your life be like if you began to live in a state of your future self? You began to live in that state of gratitude on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but what I'm saying is it's going to be worth it. Now, how much do you want to change? How much do you want to become the best version of yourself? If you truly want it, you're willing to wait it out. And as I said in a previous video, you can spend 10 years doing this, or you can spend a year doing this. It's not down to the time, it's down to how much effort you're willing to put in today. Because now you've got this information, it's down to you what you do with it. You can either choose to do nothing from this day forward, or you can choose to do something. In a year's time, you're going to be 1 year older. Are you going to be a year older with this information and knowledge that you can get from working with me on my 7-week program, which is called the Ray Way? Or are you going to be a year older without that knowledge and information and change and shifts in your life? That's down to you. But once you begin to catch yourself enough times, you begin to interrupt the habit. Now, going with interrupting the habit, one of the things with hypnosis is it's called a pattern interrupt. And how you hypnotize someone, you see a lot of stage hypnosis, they will say something, then they'll shake their arm and they will go like that. And what they're doing is they're interrupting the pattern of what they would normally do if they were going to shake someone's hand, which then causes a moment in time where you can switch straight away. That's why hypnosis works. Someone says the word sleep when their arm's being pulled. If they've been pre-programmed to say you will not go to sleep, you will not fall asleep, but you will go into a sleep-like trance, that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, if you interrupt that habit of reacting, you interrupt that habit of feeling anxiety, you interrupt that habit of feeling fearful, and you choose a different way of thinking, eventually you begin to reprogram what is called your default mode network in your brain, and also the subconscious mind, to say, whenever I feel that feeling of fear, I used to feel anxiety, but now I feel courageous. As I said, that happens over a period of time of doing it enough times. So the act of being conscious of what's going on is what's going to make these shifts in your life. So that you no longer live in the current circumstances, but you choose to live in the future reality of who you are going to be as of today. And that's where your life begins to change. Now, as I said, this is a process. But if you follow and trust the process, eventually you get the outcome that you want to get. And you gain control of yourself once again. Make sure you go and watch this video again. Share this with whoever you need to share this with. But have an amazing day. Keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity. Yeah.